guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing with you 3 reasons why you should retire now.
Yeah, we get this question a lot and debated it for ourselves, and the question as to why you should retire now, sometimes people are just looking for an answer because they want to retire now, but they're not sure that they should, and we're here to tell you that you should retire as early as possible. And let's get into the reasons why. The first one is kind of the inverse of what you've always heard, that time is money. But really, if you really think about it, you're going to realize that you're going to run out of time well before you run out of money, for most people.
Yes, and it's just a matter of thinking about how you're weighing, you're giving up your time on this earth, which you have a very limited amount, over something that, it's going to be out there for a while. I mean, money's going to continue to be out there and offered for jobs, but you're trading your time for that, the limited amount of time that you have.
Yeah, and the way we like to think about it is that what would working extra years get me in terms of money? What would that afford me? And really, it's not much. Once you reach a certain level of money, there's diminishing return to getting more money. So once you have a pretty solid retirement, getting an exceptional retirement only takes you from a 50-inch TV to a 70-inch TV, and a little bit nicer house to a little bit nicer house. And that's just not really worth wasting 5 to 10 more years of your life doing a job you don't want to do just to get a little bit bigger TV, a little bit nicer meal, because you're wasting not your bad years, you're wasting your best years to do that, because those extra years you're working are your prime retirement years. So you're sacrificing the best for just a little bit more. So it's never really a good idea to make that sacrifice. And that leads us into the second reason, which is that there are certain things that you can only do while you are still healthy.
That's right. There's things that we've done. We've been at this is our 6th year of full-time travel and early retirement, and in that first couple of years, there are things that we did that even just 4 or 5 years later, I look back at them and I'm like, oh, that would be even harder to do now, and it hasn't been that long since we did that a few years ago. So, one of those things is we do like to go hiking, and we did this incredible hike in Norway, up Heston, and it was really a grueling hike. You remember this?
It was, yeah. It was amazing. I had seen this picture online, and I'm a photographer, if you don't know that, and I really wanted to get to this place to take this picture. We had a drone. I wanted to take the drone up there and fly it, and it was not only a grueling hike, it was a grueling drive just to get there. There were like 1-lane tunnels that were still being dug while we were driving through mountains in Norway, and we finally got to this place, did the hike up there, and just sat on top of this mountain looking around, and it was just a peaceful time, and I was so glad we were there and not back in Atlanta, Georgia, sitting at a desk editing pictures to make a little bit more money that we probably didn't need at the end of the day. So that really was an eye-opening moment for us, that we had done the right thing. They talk about this as being your go years, and then you'll move into your slow years, and then your no years. Well, in our go years, we wanted to make sure that we were doing the things that we would no longer be able to do. So that was definitely one of them. I know another one was going to the Faroe Islands, and that was somewhat treacherous. Again, both the driving
and the hiking.
And there was things that we did there, hiking-wise, that I would not do today, because you have to be very sure of your footing and some of these overlooks that we were standing at, and it was scary doing it then, but I would not do it now.
It was scary watching you do it then.
Yeah, so
from a safe distance.
So if you delay your retirement any longer than you need to just to get a little bit more money, you're going to miss out on lifetime opportunities. And that's, in talking to people, that's the biggest regret that people have that talk to us who are a little bit older than us. They say, I should have done this earlier. I should have done this when I could have still done all the things I wanted to do.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why it's better to do it earlier than to continue to wait until you start to get into years where it's more difficult to do some of the things that you actually wanted to try, accomplish, and, experience.
Yeah, because one of the things that people really want to do generally is travel. And we are full-time traveling, and we can tell you that some of the more extreme full-time traveling is very grueling on your body. And it will take a toll on you if you are trying to do things that are above your limit. And you don't want to be doing that very often. So I just think the quicker you can retire, the better. And we have a couple of videos on the channel about some other ways we make money. And the reason people don't retire early is out of fear. And the fear is what? That you're going to run out of money. But that's really a fear that was rooted in the 1960s and 70s when you retired, and then basically you had no chance of making any more money. So you had to save up this huge nest egg to get there. Nowadays, you've had a profession where you could do online consulting through Zoom while you're traveling. If you feel like you're going to run out of money, you can just go work a little more at any time in this day and age. So there really isn't a reason to delay your retirement out of fear, and that's what most people are honestly doing, and they're going to end up at the end of their life with more money than they had time. So we say be a little less conservative on that, because you're going to get those experiences that you'll otherwise miss out on.
Exactly. It's a huge factor, I think, when you start actually looking at how that's going to affect long-term your ability to do things that you enjoy in retirement.
The next one is that retiring early gives you the opportunity to put more time and energy into your later life interests and allows you to become better at it and allows you to maybe get more fulfillment out of it. So if you retire when you're 70 and then you take up a hobby and you work on that for 5 years and you get good at it, then you're 75, you don't have a ton of time left to actually use that or make something of it or even enjoy it on average. Now some people will live to be 100 and it'll work out great for them, but others won't, and they won't get to do that later life activity as much as they wanted. Whereas if you retire 10-15 years earlier, you'll not only get better at those later life interests, you'll get to use them, get to help other people with them, and have more enjoyment from them.
Exactly. I think this is a huge one because we all have, things that we enjoy or that we're interested in and haven't even gotten to do. You get to do that finally in retirement, and you never know, it turns into something, or you just realize, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this. I'm so glad I got so much time to invest into doing this or developing this interest or this activity.
Exactly. So we're not saying be reckless and retire with no money today. What we're saying is if you have the money to retire and you're just hanging on to get that extra 5 to 10%, but it's going to take you several years to do it, maybe that 5 to 10% isn't worth it. Really, you should consider that. But if you are a little bit younger and you're just kind of build up your retirement, maybe don't plan on having to get as much as you thought before you start, or work a little more now to get there a little bit quicker so that you can retire a little bit earlier.
Exactly. It'll really make a huge difference in your life, and it's just amazing to me what we've been able to accomplish in just these first 5, almost 6 years that we've been doing this, to just the things that we have seen and experienced. It's just, I'm not sure that those are things that we could have seen and experienced later on. So it's good to be able to get those in and know, oh, I was able to do that. I was able to do that hike. I look back on that specific hike. Well, there's the one in the Faroe Islands also. Those are a few of the hikes that we've done have been really quite grueling. And I just, even now 5 or 6 years later, I'm thinking, I'm not sure that I would attempt it again, because it was really quite difficult. And, even later, if I'm looking at 60, 70 years old, it's going to be even harder to do. So it's nice to be able to do that, and then just developing more of the interest, like you said on that last one. You know, you're a photographer and you've done it for work, but now you're able to do it for your personal enjoyment. You can do the pictures that you want to do, not the pictures that you're getting paid to do.
Right. Yeah.
Which are two totally different things.
It is, and I think back too about not only just the hiking, but the driving. We spent some time in Iceland when we first downsized, sold our house, and decided to travel full time. And I know one night we had heard there was going to be northern lights, and there was cloud cover over most of Iceland except for about 4 hours away from where we were. It looked like it was going to be clear, and we said, hey, let's drive over there. We'll drive 4 hours, we'll see the northern lights, and then we'll drive back. And it was a pretty long night, and we stopped along the way, and we went into the ocean and saw the ice, coming
Black
up on
Diamond Beach there.
Diamond Beach coming up on. We saw the lagoon with all the ice in it, and saw the northern lights setting right over that, which was amazing. But I think even 5 to 10 years later from that experience, if I had said, "Oh, let's drive 8 hours tonight to see this," we probably would have been like,
I don't think so.
That might not be worth it. So those are all the things that when you're younger, you will be able to do, and we just recommend getting out there and doing them. We do not regret it one bit. We may have had a little bit more money if we had worked a little bit longer, but you know what? In reality, we would have missed out on money because we make more money now than we did when we were working because of all the different interests and activities that have come up since we retired. So there really is, most people are really just letting fear control their life, and when you take that out and you realize you can always make things different, it does provide for a much different path.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully this is helpful to you if you're trying to make a decision. Any questions, leave those down in the comments for us. We're always in there answering those for you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for lots more content like this. Make sure you check out what we've already got up here, and we'll see you guys next time.